More and more everyday items are connected to the internet. Here we have my friend Kayla, an internet connected doll, and here we have a smart thermostat connected to the internet. Ken Munro, security expert, what can possibly go wrong when all these appliances are connected to the internet?
Well, we're going to be showing how you can invade people's privacy, creep on your kids, but also how IoT can be used to take down the power grid.
We're so lucky to have Ken Munro, one of the leading experts on IoT security, presenting now all the things that can go wrong and how to fix it. Enjoy.
So, good afternoon. My name is Ken, and I am an ethical hacker, which sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? But we're the good guys. So our job is to go out and break things to make them better, to find security flaws so they get fixed. So I have a lot of fun going out and breaking smart technology. So right now I am reverse engineering a Tesla. We got a Model S. We spent a lot of money doing it, and we broke it. Yeah, a bit embarrassing, but we found some things that we're disclosing to Tesla. But I also have to explain why the car does not work so well anymore. My colleague says everything is fine, but maybe the brakes aren't so good, but hey, it's good. But we also test a lot of not so smart things. Smart technology that really should be better. And it all started for me with this little doll, who I'm sure you know, my friend Kayla. 4 years ago, we were in a store and we saw this doll on the shelf and we thought, interesting. And on the box, it said it was internet safe and child friendly. And on the back it said it couldn't swear. It couldn't use swear words, so the child couldn't say bad things to it, which I thought was interesting. So we bought several my friend Kayla's. This is, I think, is the third one we now have. And we started looking at how it worked. And it was very simple. All the speech processing is done on the smartphone. And the doll listens. It has a microphone and a speaker, and it talks to the smartphone using Bluetooth. But there is no Bluetooth security. So we thought, I wonder, can we make this innocent doll swear? Can we bypass the security? And can we do bad things to it? But before we got there, we realized microphone, speaker, Bluetooth. This is a Bluetooth headset. You can pair it to your phone and make telephone calls using the doll if you wish, which looks really odd. And I'm sure you know, in the UK, it is illegal to drive while speaking to your phone. But we're not sure if it's legal to drive while speaking to your doll. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it is still crazy. So we started looking at this doll from the perspective of hacking it. And we discovered it was not that difficult to make it swear. The first thing we did is we decompiled, or we unpacked, the mobile app running on the phone. And we got access to the code. And we discovered a database that managed the swearing. And in there were 1,536 really rude words. And we discovered to make her swear, all you do is delete it. And now she swears like a docker. And I have recorded her for you. Here she is. Let's see if she will swear.
Calm down, or I will kick the shit out of you.
It made me laugh. But actually, it's through Kayla I came to meet the Norwegian Consumers Council, who did some independent research and realized that actually there are very significant privacy issues with the doll. Because there is no security with Bluetooth, anyone nearby can connect a Bluetooth device, like a cell phone, smartphone, or anything, and listen to the child and speak to them from some distance. And that really, really concerned me. And there were some great things happened as a result of much advocacy work. We'll come back to him. We discovered that whilst the doll was banned in numerous countries, and through some work of a cool German privacy lawyer, actually it was banned in Germany, which is great. The problem is only point products were actually banned. And if you go to the same manufacturer, whilst it is now difficult to buy Kayla in many European countries, you can still buy other products from the same manufacturer with the same security flaw. So this is my friend Freddy Bear. This is a talking toucan from the same manufacturer with the same security flaw. So it's fantastic that we saw product banned, but actually there are still so many products out there. It causes trouble. The next crazy example I want to give you is this. This is the tap lock. This is a fingerprint padlock. And I like the idea because so often I forget my keys. So when I'm trying to find to unlock the padlock, I have not got my keys with me. I do not forget my fingers very often, which makes life really easy. So I can go to the lock, pop it, and it unlocks. This is a great idea. It makes it so much easier. However, we discovered that you can also unlock the lock using Bluetooth. It's a feature. You can bring your smartphone to it, touch the lock, and it will unlock if you have the key. But when we reverse engineered the lock, we discovered there was a major flaw with the way they encoded the key. We discovered they used a really weak encryption mechanism, and the key itself is based upon the Bluetooth network address of the lock, which is broadcast by the lock all the time. It's a bit like putting the key to your padlock outside the door. So I've recorded a short video showing you how quickly you can unlock any padlock. See, after 2 seconds, the lock will open. There you go. So we now have access to any lock. That's crazy. But even worse, there was then a privacy problem. We discovered that the web service that the mobile app talks to also discloses your name, your address, and your current location. So you can use their system to find out where the padlocks are and open them all. And that's really bad. This is a product for physical security, and you can hack it in moments. But again, I ask, the manufacturer here, they took their product off the market. In the UK, you cannot buy this product easily. I had to ship this in from France. But did anything change? They stopped shipping their product, but you can still buy many, many different types of fingerprint padlock on Amazon, on eBay, on all sorts of different online sources. Did anything change? No, all what happened is one product was pulled from the market. Now, the next crazy place I want to go is looking at Wi-Fi. Now, your Wi-Fi key is the key to your home security. If I can steal your Wi-Fi network key, the key you put in your phone to connect to your home network, I can start to intercept all your data at home. And one of my most fun projects was showing how you can steal your Wi-Fi key from a smart kettle. Does anyone here have a smart kettle? No? Good. Maybe keep it this way. Do not buy. I saw this product on the market about 3 years ago, and I thought, smart kettle, how cool. The idea is, this goes in your kitchen, and then when you wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone, you get the smart app, you press the button, and then by the time you get to your kitchen, it is full of boiling water for your cup of English tea, saving you maybe 30 seconds of your life. This is $100, right? It's a lot of money. And I looked at this kettle, thought, I wonder if I can hack it. And I will show you what we managed to achieve. So over here, hopefully, I'm connected to my kettle. There we go. But it's OK. My kettle has a password. It's fine. There is no problem here. Everything is safe. But then I found the manual for the chip that is inside the kettle, the bit that makes it smart. And I discovered that the PIN code for the kettle is, oh dear, it's 6 zeros, which means I can easily get access to your kettle from outside on the street. But I wanted more. I then started looking at various commands that the mobile app sends to the kettle to make it boil. And I discovered this command. And as a result of that, I can now extract your Wi-Fi network key over Wi-Fi from your kettle. So now I can access your home Wi-Fi network, and I can start to inspect all the traffic. And if you have not changed the administration password on your Wi-Fi router, I can now compromise everything. Has everyone here changed their Wi-Fi admin password? Some of you? This is a job for tonight. Go home, change your Wi-Fi password. But this is crazy. We should not be able to do this. It is so easy for the hacker to compromise your kettle. But then things got really silly. We realized because it uses Wi-Fi, there are databases of the GPS coordinates of Wi-Fi devices on the internet. A website called wiggle.net, W-I-G-L-E.net. And as a result, you can go and find the kettles in the west of London. So you can go and find the geographic location of people's houses to hack. We know there are vulnerabilities. Now, the good news is the manufacturer listened. They're a cool vendor. It took them nearly 18 months, but they've now released a secure version of the same kettle. So if you want to boil water remotely, this is the way to do it. But it took so long. And it's a real shame because most IoT vendors, they are not responsible, in my opinion. They do not listen, they do not fix it. These guys were cool, they listened. But this is really, really unusual. Now, the next place I want to go is one of these devices. This is a smart thermostat. Anyone here have a smart thermostat? No? Good. Afterwards, you will not want one. The idea being is that you can make environmental savings. You can save money by controlling your heating remotely. I think that's a really cool idea because it means we will save the environment. We will save ourselves money. But we saw this particular smart thermostat and thought, I wonder. So we started to take it apart and look for security flaws in it. And we realized there were some very major problems. What we wanted to do was see, as a proof of concept, could we hold your heating and your home to ransom? Now, along the way, we found lots of funny things. So we took the code out of the chips, it's called firmware, and we found some crazy stuff in there, including some really unusual coding techniques. One, for example, when it tries to make an encrypted connection using SSL, the padlock, if it fails, the developer wrote the SSL shit status. This is production code. This shouldn't be like this. We then discovered you can also upload photographs as a backdrop, as a wallpaper. And the routine that deals with that in the code is called the son of a bitch mode. What? But what hope do we have for security if the quality of coding is so poor? We discovered numerous security issues when we analyzed the code running on the thermostat. And the conclusion of that is we successfully held a thermostat to ransom. Now, the only mistake we made is we got the Bitcoin exchange rate wrong. So that thermostat's worth about $8,000 right now. So I don't know what you would do. Maybe you will take it from the wall and get a non-smart thermostat. But we proved the point. What if this is your vehicle? How much would you pay if you woke up in the morning with an important meeting, or you must go to the station or take your kids to school, and your car doesn't work because it's held to ransom? This is not theory, it's real. But then we realized there was something worse. We were thinking about one thermostat. The problem is, lots of people have the same thermostat. Millions of people around the world have the same thermostat with the same vulnerabilities. And this is where we realized there was a major security problem. We can hack one thermostat. We can hack all the thermostats. Now, if your heating is powered with electricity, or your air conditioning, your cooling is powered with electricity, we can synchronously, at the same time, switch on all the thermostats, on or off. And then you start to create power spikes. So maybe you would wait on a cold day till everyone comes home from work at maybe 6 p.m. You would wait till demand on the power grid is maximum. Then the hacker goes, turn on all the thermostats now. Now turn them off. Now turn them on. And your power grid will collapse. It can cope with small spikes, but not big spikes. You then create what's called a black start event, where the power goes down, potentially for up to 24 hours or more. So inadvertently, IoT has created weapons that can be used to attack nation states. This is why I think it's so important that we get IoT security right now, before we accidentally, unintentionally, create a weapon that can be used against us. And that bit makes me a little scared. I think we have a chance now to fix things. But now I want to go off on a crazy direction. I want to talk about holding you to ransom. And I want to introduce the concept of Teledildonics. Anyone heard this term before? I hadn't. The term is invented by a very famous guy, a guy called Ted Nelson, who invented the word hypertext. This is one of his less well-known words, but it describes the concept of online sex using toys. And I stumbled accidentally into the world of cyber sex toys. And it was quite revealing and just a little bit worrying as well. One of the things that scares me most is people are already held ransom with very personal images that have been stolen. And we realized that adult sex toys have so little security, they create the perfect attack vector to hold people to ransom. Now I want to explain to you, this is the first toy I looked at. If you use Amazon, it makes recommendations. If you buy Kayla and this, you get really weird recommendations. I have no idea what Google thinks I am. There's some very odd things going on that get recommended to me. So, the very first toy I looked at, I just need to turn this on, bear with me a moment. The very first toy I looked at was this one. This was a basic smart sex toy that you can control using your phone. But the cool bit is it means that a couple can have a long-distance relationship. And I think that's really cool. For example, if you're in the military or working a long way away, it means you can have a very meaningful relationship with your partner. And I think that's really cool. There are also more involved uses. So we discovered actually you can have multiple user sessions. Cool. If that's your thing, that's really cool. But we discovered two flaws with the first toy we looked at. The first one we discovered is you can capture still images during your session. And in the process of storing that data, it's stored in a place that's accessible to other applications. So if you have malware on your Android phone, for example, it means someone potentially can steal your very personal images. But then we found something really silly. A bit like Kayla, the toy has no Bluetooth security, which means someone nearby can use this code and hijack your sex toy. Whoa, that's a bit weird, right? But then things got really weird. We also discovered a flaw in the mobile application. That means if you've used the mobile app maybe the night before and then take your smartphone to work and connect it to the Wi-Fi network at work, it will try to connect all the time for an adult toy server. And if your IT staff are switched on, they will wonder, why is this phone on our business network trying to request a sex toy server? So an investigation starts, and they come and find you and your phone and go, why are you pinging a sex toy server? It's like, I really wouldn't want to be that employee. But we also found some other crazy devices. This is a smart butt plug, unused, I might add. You can also hijack this device. It has no pins, so someone nearby can hijack your device. And we also found some privacy fails as well. In their FAQ, there is a chat that you can have using your smartphone when you're using the butt plug, and they stated that it was encrypted. We discovered that it wasn't, which meant that your personal chat data during your very personal session was not protected. And that's not acceptable. Fortunately, they fixed it. But then something really weird happened. We discovered there are problems with Bluetooth that mean you can track users of these devices. Bluetooth, by default, gives out what's called an advertising beacon. Now, you look like this. This is the advertising beacon for the butt plug. And it means that you can track people who are wearing sex toys. And it means you can do things like this, so like build maps of use. This is one we compiled in Berlin. I'll leave that to your imagination. But then things got really weird. I'd like to introduce you to this toy. This is, I think, probably the freakiest toy I've ever seen. It is a vibrator that is also an endoscope, but also has a camera in the end. And that's, I thought, really quite odd. And it uses Wi-Fi. I just need to change networks here, because I'm currently connected to Kettle. There we go. Let's connect to that. Good. This is quite an unusual toy. I could not believe that it actually existed. Now, it uses Wi-Fi, and like the Kettle, it means that you can track people using it. So you can use various networks and databases to find people who own this toy. So you can find their geographic location. And I think that's a really big invasion of their privacy. That really, really bothers me. I think it's a really unusual thing to do. We then started looking at the mobile application that runs on the smartphone. And we discovered they reused the code from a drone. And within the application, that is the camera dildo vibrator, we found propeller controls. There's some really weird things going on there. But we also found that the Wi-Fi key is the same. It's 88, which is a lucky number in parts of Asia. So we then started connecting to it and found some really odd things. So if you know the address and you can find the Wi-Fi device, you can connect to it easily using 88s. The username is admin, the password is blank. So you can connect to someone's device, and with no further authentication, so I don't need a password, I don't need anything, you can then hijack their real-time video. That's my fingers, by the way. You know, wave to the dildo. Hey! And I find that really, really unpleasant. That with no authentication, someone has let an IoT manufacturer, a smart sex toy manufacturer, create a toy which is trivially easy to invade your privacy and steal very, very personal videos. So that kind of leads me to my conclusion. I think there is an opportunity now to bring in some enforcement, at least, to try to stop this poor IoT being present. And there are a few things that have happened. In the US Senate, there's a draft bill about setting minimum standards for US government and agency procurement. So whilst I believe the US is reluctant to regulate consumer IoT, they're going to use their procurement power to get manufacturers to improve standards. If it's not secure, you're not selling it to the government. That's good, but this currently is in committee stage in the Senate, so not much progress I'm aware of. We saw my friend Kayla be banned through the work of the Norwegian Consumers Council, through the work of Stefan Hessel, through the European Consumer Organisation. That's great, but it's point devices. We also saw, and I was very sad to see this, lots of progress in the EU, but then in the last 2 months, what was announced was that the regulation would not apply to consumer IoT. And I was really very sad about that. There's an opportunity here to regulate in the consumer space. In the UK, our Department for Culture, Media and Sport has published some guidance, which is coming out as part of a standard. But at the moment, there isn't enforcement of that standard. And I think the problem happens until we enforce in some way, or at least set a standard that consumers can recognize, we're all stuffed. So what can we do? I think the problem we have is there are too many IoT products out there. There are too many smart dolls for us to go out banning point products. There aren't enough people like me, there aren't enough people like the Norwegian Consumers Council out there to do enough research to get enough products banned. There are a few IoT vendors who really care, and they're really good, and I think we should celebrate that. We should have a way of pointing out really good performance, because right now consumers, they're exposed, and I think they're very confused. The most common question I get when I do a talk is, how do I know which product is safe and which product is not? And you know, I can't tell you. And I think that's a real shame. So I think the problem is there is a complete lack of IoT security right now. And I think we have to do something about that. Thank you.